What is TDS and what are the accounting entries of TDS? I am Sabu Joseph. Welcome to SVJ Academy. So many practical and useful videos are available in my channel. Definitely it will help you to grow better in accounting profession. Kindly watch it and drop your comment. Channel will be very much useful for the commerce students as well as the accountants, especially new accountants and accounting job seekers. If not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe now and enable the bell icon and kindly share the channel to your friends and colleagues. For the better understanding about the accounting concepts, practices and discussion, a Facebook group is also available. Kindly join the group. You can share your doubts, ideas and requirements on the group. More than 2200 members are already joined to the group. The group ID is. Today we are going to discuss about what is TDS and the recording of TDS in our accounting software. Whatever the accounting software we are using, the accounting treatments is same for all softwares. This video is meant for the new accountants and accounting job seekers who have no prior experience in accounting job. Kindly watch the video till end, then only you can understand the entire cycle of TDS. Before going to the accounting part, let us see what is TDS. TDS stands for Tax Deducted at Source. As per the Income Tax Act, any company or person making specified payments is required to deduct tax at source if the payment exceeds certain threshold limits. TDS has to be deducted at the rate specified by the Income Tax Department. Who has to deduct TDS? No TDS has to deduct if the person making the payments is an individual or HUF whose books are not required to be audited. So, all the individuals or HUFs are not required to deduct TDS. If their accounts are subject to audit, then only they have to deduct TDS. Before deducting the TDS, we have to get the TAN number, tax deduction account number. We have to apply for the TAN number on the income tax portal. After getting the TAN, then only we have to deduct the tax. Company or person whose books are subject to audit has to deduct TDS before making the specified payments and deposit the same with the government. TDS is to be deducted irrespective of the mode of payments, whether it is cash or check or by a credit transaction. What are the parties of TDS? We have two parties. One is deductor and the one is deductee. Who is a deductor? The company or person who makes the payments after deducting TDS is called deductor. Then who is a deductee? The company or person who is receiving the payments is called the deductee. So if we are the organization, we are receiving a bill for the payments, we are the deductor, and who is giving the bill, that person is called deductee. What are the rates of TDS? TDS is to be deducted at the rates specified for the relevant financial year. Every budget TDS rates may be changed. So what are the prevailing TDS rates available for the financial year? We have to deduct TDS on that rate. Now come to the accounting part of the TDS. We are doing it in the books of the deductor. So we are the organization. When we are making the payments, how we will record these transactions in our books or software? The payment process we can divide into three sections. The first one is record the bill or expense. Second is make the payment of the bill to the deductee. Third is making the payment of TDS to the government. For example, interest payment of rupees 25,000 to Mr. ABC Limited, TDS rate is 10%. We have to pay rupees 25,000 to Mr. ABC Limited and the applicable TDS rate is 10% under section 194A. So how we will record these transactions in our book? First, record the expense in our book. So the first step is book the expenses. Interest is an expense. We are paying, our organization paying the interest to Mrs. ABC Limited. So as far as concerned with us, interest is an expense. So we have to debit the interest amount of rupees 25,000. Interest account debtor. Now we have to give this 25,000 to Mrs. ABC Limited. It is not paid, it is payable. So for recording the payable entry, what we should do? We should credit that person. So here we have to pay to ABC Limited. So credit to ABC Limited. The question is how much we have to pay. Whether we have to pay 25,000? No. We have to deduct 10% of 25,000. The remaining amount only we have to pay to ABC Limited. The 10% of the amount we have to remit to the government as TDS on behalf of Mrs. ABC Limited. Actually, the TDS is an advance tax. So credit given to ABC Limited for 22,500. That is 10% of 25,000. That is 2,500 we have deducted from the amount as TDS. So the remaining amount of 22,500 is payable to ABC Limited. So credit to ABC Limited 22,500. The 10% of 25,000 as TDS we have to credit it to TDS payable accounts because today it is not remitted to the government. It is also a payable. It is also a liability. So we have to credit it to the concerned account. That account is called TDS payable. So TDS payable 2,500. Now it is equal to the debit. Now we booked the expenses. The second step is we have to make the payment of 22,500 to ABC Limited. So we have to debit ABC Limited 22,500. Now the account is closed. So ABC Limited account debtor where we will credit how it is making the payment, whether it is by cash or by banking mode. More than 10,000 rupees we can't pay by cash. So we have to pay by banking mode only. So credit it to the concerned bank account 22,500. Now the ABC Limited account is closed. We crossed the second step. The third step is 2,500 rupees we have to remit to the government. So under third step, remitting or depositing TDS amount to government. TDS account is already credited and now showing the credit to balance. Now we have to remit that amount to the government. So debit TDS payable account 2,500 and credit to bank because we are making this payment through banking mode. So this is the three steps while making a payment. Let's see another example. Provisional fee of rupees 1 lakh to Mrs. Anand and Company with CGST at 9% and SGST at 9%. So the total bill rupees 1,18,000. TDS rate is 10%. We are not claiming input tax credit. So the CGST and SGST we are not claiming the input tax credit. Then how we will record this in our software? First, book the expense. Provisional fee account debtor 1,18,000. It is payable to Anand and Company. So credit to Anand and Company. How much? We have to deduct 10% of provisional fee as TDS under section 194JB. Here on the provisional fee bill, 1 lakh is the provisional fee and 9,000, 9,000, 18,000 is the GST amount. So the question is on what amount we will deduct TDS, whether it is on 1 lakh or 1,18,000. The answer is very clear. We have to deduct TDS on the value excluding the GST amount. On the bill, the value should be shown separately. Whatever the service amount and the CGST and SGST, whatever it is, we have to consider the value which is excluded by GST. So here 1 lakh is the provisional fee and 9,000, 9,000, 18,000 is the GST. So we have to exclude 18,000 from the bill. The remaining value is 1 lakh. We have to calculate 10% of TDS on rupees 1 lakh. So it will come to 10,000. So 1,18,000 minus 10,000. The remaining portion is 1,08,000. That 1,08,000 we have to pay to Anand and Company. And the TDS amount of 10,000 we have to remit to government. So 10,000 credit to TDS payable account. Now we recorded the expenses on our books. The second step is we have to make the payment of the bill to Messrs. Anand and Company. Debits Anand and Company 1,08,000 to concerned bank account. Now Anand and Company account is closed. The third step is remit the TDS amount to the government. So TDS account is already showing a liability. So debit to the liability account. TDS payable account at 10,000 to bank. Credit to the concerned bank account. Now the TDS payable account is closed. Let's see another example. Professional fee rupees 1 lakh to Mrs. Anand and Company with CGST at 9% and SGST at 9%. Total bill is 1,18,000. TDS rate is 10%. We are claiming input tax credit. What will happen? In this case, we are claiming input tax credit. In the earlier same example, we input tax credit not claimed. In this case, we are claiming the input tax credit. The first step, book the expenses. Professional fee account debtor 1 lakh. This is the professional fee amount. Here we have to show the CGST and SGST separately. This is called input tax. Input tax CGST, input tax SGST. So both the tax we have to set off with the output tax liability. As far as concerned with the business, input tax is an asset because we are giving the GST amount in advance to the government while making the purchase or payment. Here we received a bill. On that bill, 9,000 is the CGST and 9,000 is the SGST. So when we are making this payment to Mrs. Anand and Company, they are receiving 9,000 and 9,000 respectively for the GST and they are remitting the amount to the government. So 9,000 rupees towards CGST and 9,000 rupees towards SGST will be paid by the Anand and Company, which is collected from us. So debit to professional fee rupees 1 lakh, input tax CGST 9,000, input tax SGST 9,000. So here totally we have to pay 1,18,000 to Mrs. Anand and Company. But we are deducting TDS at the rate of 10% of rupees 1 lakh. So the remaining amount is 1,08,000. So credit to Anand and Company rupees 1,08,000. The TDS payable amount of rupees 10,000 to be credited to TDS payable account. Now we recorded everything. The professional fee showing an expense 1 lakh, input tax CGST, input tax SGST, both are showing 9,000 rupees towards advance payments of GST as an asset. This 9,000 of CGST and 9,000 of SGST we can see on the electronic credit ledger on the GST portal. So when we log into the GST portal, go to the electronic credit ledger, we can see two payments are available for the claim, 9,000 rupees under CGST and rupees 9,000 under SGST. Both of these CGST and SGST we can set off against the output CGST and output SGST. If the amount is still available on the electronic credit ledger, that we can set off on the next bill or next month. If the output CGST and output SGST is more than 9,000, the difference of value we have to remit to the government through electronic cash ledger. So first we booked the expenses and the second step is make the payments of professional fee of rupees 1,08,000 to Anand and Company. So debit Anand and Company 1,08,000, credit to concerned bank account. Go to the third step, remitting or depositing TDS to government. Debit TDS payable account and credit to concerned bank account. Now almost you get a clear idea about how to record the TDS under different cases. Now come to the some little bit points of TDS. What are the due dates for payment of TDS? The TDS of every month should be remitted to the government on or before 7th of the next month. For example, if the TDS deducted during the month of May 2021 should be remitted to the government on or before 7th of June 2021. So from April to February we have to remit the TDS on the 7th of next month. For the month of March we have the time to deposit the amount on or before 30th of April of next year. So March is the closing period of the financial year. So for making all the calculations and everything. We have enough time to deposit the amount to the government. It will be up to 30th April of the next year. So the TDS for the month of March 2021, we have to remit to the government on or before 30th of the April 2021. What are the TDS forms? Mainly we are dealing with the two forms, form number 24Q and form 26Q. The form 24Q related to salaries and form 26Q related to other than salaries. As far as concerned with the business, we may deduct TDS from the salary of the employees as well as the payment to the other parties. So whatever the TDS we deducted, we have to separate into form 24Q and 26Q, and like that only we have to remit the payment and file the quarterly TDS returns. What are the due date of quarterly TDS returns? Once the deductor has deposited the TDS, they also have to file the TDS return. The whole financial year will be divided into 4 quarters. First quarter starting from April to June, second quarter starting from July to September, third quarter starting from October to December, and fourth quarter starting from January to March. We have to file the TDS returns quarterly. So on the first quarter, April, May and June, we have to file the TDS return on or before 31st July of the concerned year. So we have to file TDS returns of every quarter on or before 31st of the next month. So first quarter on 31st July, the second quarter will be 31st October, third quarter will be 31st January, and fourth quarter will be not 30th April. 30th April is the last date for remitting the amount instead of 7th of the month. So the TDS returns also have extended up to 31st May. So only the fourth quarter TDS return we have to file on or before 31st May. After filing the TDS quarterly returns, we have to issue TDS certificates to the deductees. Here also we have two main forms, form number 16 and form 16A. Form 16 relating to 24Q. That 24Q relates to TDS on salary. So the form 16 can be generated once in a financial year. The next is form 16A, which relates to 26Q. This form 16A we have to generate 15 days from due date of filing the return. For example, on the third quarter, 1st October to 31st December, our due date will be 31st January. So 15 days from the due date of filing return. 15th of February, we have to issue TDS certificate. Form 16B, TDS on sale of property. 16C, TDS on rent. I think this will be very much useful for the accountants who have no previous experience in accounting field. So many practical and useful videos are available in my channel. Kindly go through each video. You have to watch each video from beginning to end. Then only you can understand the process of all the accounting work. Most of the practical day-to-day accounting work included in my video. So kindly watch it. You can do it without any difficulties. If you are really likes the video and information, please like, share and drop your comments. And requesting to subscribe my channel and kindly enable the bell icon. You will get all notifications in real time. We can meet on next video. Till then, bye.